Hello everyone, this is Jebro, and today we're going to go through the Revenant. We're going to go through a build, not too in-depthly, because in future I'm going to make a build or make a video talking about a lot of the Revenant skills as well. But what we're going to talk about today is a sword shield with a staff in the other weapon set, and we're going to be going for the dragon and the assassin stance as well. That's what I'm calling them, because that's the easiest way of explaining this to you. Without saying all the different names like Shiro and whatever, because, you know, that's what appears on the screen, so I'm going to do that. Also, we are going with the Holbrook rune. We are also going with the Marauder's amulet, and we're going with the air sigil and an energy on staff, and energy and also hydromancy on the shield there as well. So, I'm enjoying this build at the moment. It's kind of fun. If I'm honest, I've been playing Engineer and Revenant the most, really, and also I've been playing Druid, but this is great. If I want to do some nice damage in SPVP and I want to evade a lot of damage as well, this build is pretty nice. And this is being played in top tier. This, I want to emphasize, is not my build as such. This is a variation of the build I play, but other people are playing it top end, have created this build as well. And it's a lot of fun, so I encourage you to go and check out Twitch and whatnot, where loads of people are playing Revenant, like Fantaram's playing Revenant, you got Denshi playing Revenant as well. I'll try and put some of these guys' streams in the chat below. So yeah, just try and check out some of these guys, because it's definitely worth it in the end. Apologies about that chat message. I do these build videos in one bash because I have like 0 time, so I do appreciate that. Obviously, sometimes I may say something a little bit random, like apples. Anyway, so this build, as we go through it, you probably wanted me to talk about the build right now rather than chat rubbish, but this is going to be the dragon, as I said, and also the assassin stance. So some useful abilities come along with these stances before we go through into the build. We have got, first of all, the heal on the assassin stance, which is really, really great. Note, so when you do damage, you are actually going to heal yourself as well, because you siphon life from your targets when you hit. So obviously, we'll show you the actual animation, so you can see actually those little shards that come out, which is pretty nice. And you can see when I come back, I will have only 4 left because I've already used them. And there we go, the other couple of hits spent them as well. So obviously you're spending a certain amount of those shards to heal yourself up. Didn't have low HP, but you get the drift of what the heal is. So you can see there 808 siphon healing, and the damage, because you obviously do damage when you siphon because you're taking it away from them. And yeah, initial heal 1.6k there as well. I was getting some mites, which is through our traits and whatnot, so we'll go through that in a moment as well. Riposting shadows, so it is an evade back quickly through the mist, removing debilitating conditions. Really, really useful. Obviously breaking that stun as well. So here's the animation for that, which, you know, Revenant is pretty awesome for that. So if you think about it, it's similar to phase retreat, I suppose, for the Mesmer, of course. So, you know, if you're heading in this direction, you can press your reverse button, go back, turn around, and keep going forward. So you get the drift. Bang, bang, bang. No, it's not too difficult. It's a nice mobility action there as well when you're obviously trying to move away quite quickly, because sometimes, you know, it could be a bit slow to switch over to dragon stance and get the swiftness, but obviously you're evading as well. So if you're trying to get out of a big fight, like using that to disengage rather than using just your swiftness is really, really strong for you. So you should try and do that. Really, really good ability. Next, we've got phase traversal. So this is the opposite to that, really. So you step through the mist to your target, your next few attacks can't be blocked. So really, it's just a port. It's like a port to your target. So let's just have a look here as well. And there we go. So you can see it's a nice engagement, really. Especially it's trying to, you must have a target for that to be used, because otherwise it won't work, as you can see on there, because you need a target. But it's good for your mobility as well, trying to get to places on the map very, very quickly. So, you know, what's the range on that? 1,200. That's pretty big, you know. So I can get all the way to the target there. So that's quite a short distance used, and the energy cost isn't really significant either. So you want to be using, I don't know, different occasions, getting on a node maybe in PvP if you want to try and get there quite quickly, in raids and whatnot as well, if you need to be near a boss or near a certain area of the actual encounter in PvE and whatnot as well. This is a good way to get back in there quite quickly, either that or use riposting. But yeah, I mean, it's really, really a nice ability as well. Let's go over impossible odds here. So you can see you get quickness there and you get the super speed there as well. And of course, you know, speed, quickness is really, really good. It costs a lot of upkeep. Your energy is being used up when you use your skills for the Revenant, of course. You can see that as well by the indicator on the actual bar as well. But upkeep, that's actual upkeep. So you select this and you can take it off. So then your energy is coming back up. So that's upkeep that's costing you Revenant, but your abilities on Revenant cost energy no matter what you're doing. And so yeah, it's pretty important. Other than the auto attack there, you can see saving my second ability, third, fourth, and whatnot as well. So you want to make sure that obviously you've got enough energy to be able to use your abilities, and that's one problem people have a lot of the time when they are playing Revenant as well, because it happens when I'm spectating PvP. I notice that sometimes people do have the issue that they are not doing too well with their energy management. Then we have Jade Winds, which I love, not only for, you know, trying to maybe get some nice coordinated burst off sometimes, but also trying to defend and support your team. So using this ability, you'll see you call upon Jade Wind to turn nearby enemies into Jade, stunning them for a short duration. So let's have a look. Short duration, 3 seconds. Yeah, that's short. There we go. So think about it. I'm going for, say, a res, or, you know, I'm in a little bit of trouble myself when I get 2v1'd. I can use that, try and get away, you know, using riposte or something like that. And, you know, then I've already saved myself a little bit of time. They've had to use a big stun break as well if they want to try and follow me. So hopefully I'll be quite defensive. If I'm trying to get away as a Revenant, normally I will. But that is a really, really nice ability as well. It's a big stun duration. So let's quickly go over to Dragon. Quickly explain some of those abilities as well in the utilities area. So the heal is really, really useful. So you place the Facet of Light on yourself to grant nearby allies regeneration every few seconds. So Herald, which is the dragon stance, of course, if you activate your utilities, it gives you one action first, so you can see it gives you that regeneration, and that keeps coming up and keeps going on. When you use this for a second time, it activates an ability. Now this activate is as you can see there, it says Infuse Light, inverts all incoming damage to healing. So if someone is bursting you on a point, or if someone is about to burst you and you know they're going to damage you, then you can use that ability to try and make sure that you are going to be able to survive. It's a very, very useful skill. It can get you up to almost full HP almost instantly if someone does come in to try and burst you. And I would try and save that if you possibly can for those moments, because you can waste this quite easily. I mean, I've even run through points I think, okay, right, I really, really need to heal right now. I'm going to run into this point. I know I'm going to get focus fired, but maybe they haven't seen the fact that I've got this up. So if your enemy sees that you've got Facet of Light up, they might not use their burst on you. Unfortunately, that's what the more intelligent people will do, but a lot of people don't actually do that. Even the high tier play, because they haven't been able to get used to this yet, they don't know that that's going to be the case. And I can show you that maybe again as well in a moment. So we just use that, and you can see there we did have Infuse Your Light for a few seconds. It's very, very short period of time. You can see that. So you want to make sure you always use it at the correct time. Facet of Elements, so you gain swiftness again with the activate there, and then you can see this animation is pretty awesome as well, so you can actually see what's coming up on the ground as well when you use that. And then the second ability, of course, when you activate it again, is going to be that free burn pulse, and also the chill with the with the weakness as well. So let's just quickly check what happens there. There's the weakness, chill, vulnerability, and we get the burning stacks as well. Not amazing amount of damage, you know, it's a little bit of extra pressure and cleave, but really, we're using this a lot for our movement, especially breaking out into the map. We're using it to gain mobility around the map in terms of swiftness and whatnot as well. And it's not just for us, this is for our allies. So Herald feels like, or Dragon Stance is really felt like it's going to be useful in every single facet of the game. It's going to be good in raiding, it's going to be good in PvP, it's going to be good in PvE, World v World and whatnot. I don't really feel like there's going to be anything. This is going to be one of your main trait lines, really. This is what it feels like anyway, and it's a very good trait line. Very good trait line. Very good stance as well to have. Facet of Darkness, you can see. Let's just put that down on the ground there as well. Different little light. It's got a little eyeball there. That's nice. So we're going to grab that Fury as well as some Might stacks, but that's coming through our traits as well. And then you can see, so consume Facet of Darkness to reveal the area around you, pulling foes out of stealth and blinding them. So we get the blind there. You can see as well, the reveal is very, very strong. That's very nice, especially if you've got thieves and whatnot, or anyone in stealth around you, like engineers using gyros, like bomb combos that give them stealth as well, give others stealth. Really nice reveal. There's a lot to counter thieves at the moment, which is not massively fun for them, unfortunately. Facet of Strength gives you might, so get the 2 might stacks there, as well as also vulnerability. Look at that, 22 stacks of vulnerability up there. That's amazing. Again, let's just go through that again in a moment. Like that's such a nice combo. You don't even need to go into Assassin Stance sometimes to just bring you up pure extra damage. So let's just pop that up back up again. So you see 10 stacks there, and you have 2 impacts. That's the reason I got 20 stacks. So you can see consume Facet of Strength, damaging nearby foes and causing vulnerability. Facet of Strength will be disabled while this skill is recharging. So you know, when you've used these, you can't use them again until the cooldowns come back off. So you can see it. 1, 2, bang. 22 stacks of vulnerability, and then your auto attacks are going to give you that as well. So pretty bloody nice, if I'm honest. I mean, there's some nice combinations that you can really pull out with Rev. I'm not convinced that everyone's found all of them yet, but there are some very, very nice ones. Whether or not I've even found them myself, or even just through spectating, is probably another issue as well. But let's go through over to Facet of Chaos. So place the Facet of Chaos on yourself to grant protection to myself and allies. And then, as you can see, the other one is marked up as well on the ground. And then you've got the dragon, you've got Chaotic Release. So consume Facet of Chaos, releasing chaotic winds, damaging and knocking back foes, while granting super speed to allies. Facet of Chaos will be disabled again while you're recharging. So that is a big, massive knockback with one of the best animations of the game, in all honesty. And yeah, it's really, really good for knocking back bodies on the floor, especially. Just make sure you haven't got blind while it's on, and you know, give some nice control in terms of knocking down foes. So really enjoy that ability. It is a lot of fun to use. So what else have we got? What else have we got? Indeed, we have Facet of Nature. So place the Facet of Nature on yourself to grant nearby allies naturalistic resonance every few seconds to increase outgoing boon duration. So Facet of Nature, pulse and naturalistic resonance to nearby allies, and then also the naturalistic resonance, so increase outgoing boon duration by 50%. So let's just activate that there. So you can see there we've got the boon duration, and you can see we have got the resonance as well, which is pulsing out. But let's activate it again. We have one with nature. So consume Facet of Nature to unify with the other facets. Gaining the boons they apply, Facet of Nature will be disabled whilst this skill is recharging. So you gain all of the boons that come from your utilities. So you gain regeneration, and this is when you're in Dragon Stance. So you gain regeneration, you gain swiftness, you gain fury, you gain might, and you gain protection. So that's a good coordination with your burst, you know. So a little combo you could pull here is, let's just see. Think about this for a second. And let's see how much damage we're going to get when we actually got the vulnerability stacks up. That would be a lot more useful. We can do that in a moment, but what I should have done was activate that twice to get the vulnerability stacks up to 20 at the very least, and then gone for a little bit of a combo, because that would have been a lot more useful. And we will try and do that again in a moment when I'm not actually failing so hard. So let's do that again. Bang, bang. and actually have your Boom Druid that up as well. So you can create a lot of burst damage, even just through that third skill, as you saw on the sword. You know, again, there's different combinations you can do. I'm just giving you a little bit of an example there of something, you know, you could have a play around with yourself. You can probably do a bit better. Again, this build is very fun. You know, there's a lot of different reasons. Let's quickly talk about the sword here as well, featuring vulnerability. Vulnerability again, of course, as well. And let's go on to the sword. It's a nice amount of damage to this, as well as giving you some chill as well. Damage is obviously separate to chill, because chill doesn't damage unless you treat it that way in, say, a Reaper. Maximum targets is 3 there. So let's just have a look at the second skill animation there as well. Vulnerability with the chill. Chill, very, very, very useful, of course, for the reason of that minus 66% movement speed and skill recharge rate. And then the third skill, which you have seen a couple of times. So let's just inflict that vulnerability again. Just see how much damage that really does. You can see it piles up quite nicely. And then the fourth skill, so send the energy of glint towards the target area, granting protection to allies before releasing a burst of energy that heals allies and grants protection again when it returns to you. So let's just do that ability there. Protection. Beautiful. Loving the protection. Really, really useful for you and your allies. 5 targets. Protection is extremely useful in high pressure team situations as well, not only for yourself. So you want to try and be using that when it's off cooldown. If you need to, of course. If you don't, then don't. Crystal Hibernation. This is really, really, really good skill. Channel a shield from the mist to protect you, blocking attacks and regenerating health. The healing is 1k-ish. Duration is 3. Let's have a look at that as well with the animation. Pretty nice. It's an obvious animation as well, and it's 4 seconds. That can save your life. It really can. You need to make sure you're using that shield skill, because it's going to be a lot of your survivability, especially in a massive fight, and you've not got your heal through infused light as well. It's very, very strong, very powerful. So the staff, let's go with it. So first hit on the rapid swipe there, so you do some damage. You're cleaving on 3 targets, of course. Another damage with the second hit, and then the third, cleave foes around you with your staff, creating healing orbs for you and your allies. Look at that. 165 as well. Let's have a look. Looks pretty good. So there you go. Healing orbs around you. Staff is pretty nice. You can grab those, just run through them. You're not going to be both focusing on mainly a first attack with the staff, but to get healing. But, you know, it's a little bit of extra healing that helps you sustain maybe for other people. It's not going to be something you purposefully do, but the damage is, you know, the damage is also pretty nice as well. So, I'm not sure I'd run these sigils in all honesty. I wouldn't run air probably. I'd probably run actually hydromancy or something on that. And then maybe blood here. I don't think, I'm not sure if I'd use air. I'd actually have it the other way around. I'd actually have air on the sword, and then I would probably have, you know, maybe blood on the staff, as an example. Those sigils aren't really set in stone. They're just things I just put in for now. So if you've got a suggestion on those, then go for it. But, you know, fairly defensive, gives you some HP as well. So we're going to go through the second ability here. So sweep your staff at foe, gain access to debilitating slam if your foe is using a skill when they are struck. So you get weakness possibly as well as the days. Nice. Have a look. Boom. There's some weakness. There's some weakness for you. So, second skill done. Next is going to be the third one with the blind. So create a rift from the mist, warding you from attack. While the rift is open, projectiles will hit nearby foes, blinding them. Ta-da! Really nice ability actually as well. So you can block some damage. What else do I really need to say about this? That's pretty nice. I mean, hello. Nice little warding there from the attack, of course. So 4th skill, send out a wave of mist energy that heals and removes conditions from allies. So the staff is very defensive. You know, we've got healing, condition removal, blindness, blocking-ish, and then we got some weakness as well. Of course, you know, that's it's defensive. It helps you to gain some damage on your target as well with that weakness, of course. And then we do have the 5th skill, which is charge forward, knocking back enemies that cross your path. Just show you the animation of this. Does actually do a nice bit of damage, if I'm honest. But really, big reason why I'm using that 5th skill is to make sure that I can knock people back and put them maybe in a position that I want them to be in, other than either that or use it for, say, someone's getting downed and you want to try and defend your maybe defend your teammates for going for the rest. So you want to pull out the staff, knock the enemies out of the way, because that's a considerable that's a little bit of a distance away if they want to go for a confirmed kill on someone. And you can use it very, very defensively. You can use it a little bit for a disengage, I suppose, as well. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy with the skill. You actually go a little bit of distance as well, so it's not too bad. You do get that evade for 1 second as well. So we've explained the abilities. Also, sorry, there is the evade with the 3rd skill as well. So 2-second evade, as well as being very, very offensive there. So you pretty much can't be attacked really, while you're being very offensive sometimes with the Revenant, and also trying to get away. You can see I'm just pressing 1 there as well as I go onto the target. So you pull out a lot of damage with this build, and you've got a lot of defense, which is why a lot of people aren't very happy when they go 1v1 versus a Revenant, because they can heal up very quickly, potentially, if you're going to pull out your burst against them, and they can actually evade a lot of attacks as well, as I have shown you. So we're going to go through the build, finally. But basically, we're going for Invocation, Devastation, and also for the Herald here at the bottom, which is going to be your elite specialization from the Revenant in Guild Wars 2 Heart of Thorns. Invocation can be replaced with Retribution as well. Invocation is the more damage, I suppose, orientated line, rather than Invocation, which is a little bit more healthy it's a little bit more survivable. So we're not going to go over Retribution because we've got Invocation in this build, and I'll do a build video with the other one as well. So first of all, we're going for Invokers. We haven't got a choice. Invoker's Rage. So you gain Fury when you switch legends. Oh, good lord. When you invoke a legend, that is in combat only. My bad. I was thinking, whoa, did I explain that wrong? No, it's correct. Let's just switch over now. There you go. You can see the Fury coming up. Actually, that's a little bit of a worry just then. It's okay. It's all good, everyone. So we're gaining energy now because we're in combat still, unfortunately. So next skill is going to be Invoking a Legend, removes a condition. There's removing a legend just after 2 parts of this trait line has already given you Fury and condition removal. Next we're going for Ferocious Aggression. Deal increased damage to targets while you have Fury. So that's very good synergy. With all the new stuff, there's so much good synergy coming out from a lot of these trait lines, actually. Equilibrium, invoking a legend triggers a burst from the mists that heals allies if the energy is below the threshold, or damages foes if your energy is above the threshold. So if your energy is above 50%, you're going to do a lot of damage. Let's just see how much that damage is. Boom. Oh, it's lovely. Does a nice little bit of extra burst there, but you've got to make sure, obviously, that your energy is above 50. So let's just change it, do it again, because I'm not sure that was quick. I was just being fancy. There you go. You can see, it's a nice little bit of burst energy, and you get Fury as well. So the increased damage is there, And if you're below and you're in trouble and you switch to Legend, you've got some extra sustain and HP for yourself, because the healing, it's only 400. It's not a massive amount of healing, but hey, it's better than nothing. So, Empty Vessel, invoking a legend will now stun break. What? Condition removal, stun break, and Fury so far. And then finally, Rolling Mists. Critical hit chance has increased effectiveness when you're under the effect of Fury. Nice job. So far, why aren't we going for anything else here? Now, there is a possibility. You could go for... you don't really need to. I mean... This line I'm pretty happy with. I'm not sure I would really change anything here, to be honest. I mean, we've got Charge Miss, a game might when you use a skill that drops your energy below the threshold of 50, so it's a potential for might stacking in future. But really, if the increased crit effectiveness. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Don't really want to give that up at the moment. Or we can go for heal yourself when you use a skill that has an energy cost. You know, there's some good sustain as well. So potentially you could go for that. But I like the extra damage because I feel that this is more damage orientated, of course. You know, Fury, that's a good sign of that. The extra condition removal there, you know, you can't really... I'd still prefer that. You're getting a lot of Fury anyway, so, you know, I don't really need to use that because I've got Facet of Darkness. I've got it on Legend Swap, so too much Fury. It's not really much point to that. Cruel Repercussion you could go for, but I feel like the condition removal is too important. So I haven't got a massive amount as it is. So next we're going to go to Devastation. First of all, so striking a foe gives you a chance to apply vulnerability. We keep seeing that I've got a lot of vulnerability stacking, and that happens a lot. Then we're going to go with Vicious Laceration. So when you attack while wielding a sword, gain a stack of Ferocious Laceration. This can be stacked up to 5 times. So it's an increase of damage, 2% damage per stack. So we're going up to 10% extra damage. You could go for the extra ferocity, but to be honest, the extra damage stacking is pretty good as well. That again, if your attacks are blocked, you're going to have to be really, really good to make sure that happens, and you're aware of that. But to be honest, this is feeling like it's the extra damage, extra burst when you're going straight into your target, well, on the offset and later in the fight as well. Targeted Destruction, deal increased damage to targets with vulnerability. We get vulnerability through mutilate defenses, so we do some extra damage. And obviously when we get the Facet of Strength, and we have, let's just do this as well, we've got the activate, we've got the vulnerability stacks up there. You know, you're doing extra damage as well, so that synergizes very well with a lot of your build. So Nefarious Momentum, gain might when using assassin stance skills. So obviously when you are in assassin stance, here we go. Let's have a look. There you go, might stacking. Get a lot of might stacking, especially for a lot of these, but remember that you need to turn that off if you don't want to have rinse all your energy completely. You do not want to be having that permanently on. You need to choose your moments for that. This is really good for downing opponents, by the way, because you can actually pop it mid-air, which is really, really nice. Okay, let's keep going for the rest of this build, and we can maybe do a few little combos on the, not the golems, but on the NPCs in a bit, so you can see the extra might that comes out there. When you strike foes that have vulnerability, siphon life from them. Yes! So vulnerability, while you're hitting them, you're going to get life siphon. So if you're hitting them with 1 and you're inflicting vulnerability, you're even able to sustain yourself and try and gain some health there. That's pretty nice. It's not a massive amount of healing. It's 57, but you're taking some damage as well on the life steal. So an extra bit of sustain. Apologies, I've got a bit of a cough. Assassin's Annihilation. So siphon life from foes when hitting a foe from the behind or from the side, and that is a lot of healing. That's 306, and then that's 346 life siphon damage. So you're able to do a nice little bit of extra damage as well if we do it from the side. So really, I'm enjoying this. You want to try and engage or hit your targets from the side or from the back when at all possible. You know, sometimes that's very difficult, especially if you're facing them. You know, you could use some things like, you know, phase retreat from behind, so get behind them and then re-engage on the back side of them. So you do a little bit of extra damage and you do a little bit of extra healing for yourself as well. You know, because you can reposition yourself, so you could, you know, get to your target, bang, switch camera, and not fail like I did. I didn't need to do that at all, unfortunately, so we'll do that again. But yeah, so you can see, and then we will reverse back. A little bit slower there, because it makes a little bit more sense. So you can do that a lot quicker than I did just then, so you can reposition yourself to potentially get behind your target. Whether or not you're going to do that on a ton of occasions is obviously, you know, probably not the case, but you can see what I'm talking about. Whether or not you'll do that, again, is up to you. Whether or not it's the best use of your time as well, rather than trying to go for your best, is obviously another thing as well. So that's going to be Devastation. I've talked loads today about this build. There's probably loads of stuff I'm missing. Maybe tiny things, few things again, which I may have said a little bit wrong. But I feel like it's going okay so far. So let's keep going. Let's go for the Herald now. And we'll go first onto the Adept here. So Facet of Nature there. So you can now use Legendary Dragon Style skills and gain access to Facet of Nature. Ta-da! That's what that is. Radiant Revival. Place infused light on an ally while you revive them. So let's go into Dragon Stance. Facet of Light is the second activate here as well. Sorry. Infused Light. I keep saying Facet of Light. But it's the activate on Facet of Light. So if you're going to put that on your downed friend, they're going to be able to get healing from them doing damage. So if you're a Revenant, you want to use that. Not only do you want to go for the res, but you want to be going for maybe using your quickness as well in the assassin line, and then obviously using your heal. So, or maybe just using your quickness, going in for the res, and then also they're going to get healing from the extra damage cleave that's coming down, and then also maybe you're doing quickness res as well, or you use your own heal, sustain yourself as you're going for the res. So it's kind of, this is why I like these two lines together. That's slower than quickness, but you're still able to sustain your own health while you go for the res. And you're able to put this on the ally as well that's down, so you're very tanky when you go for this res, and so are they. They're not taking as much damage. In fact, they're getting healed for quite a lot. So this is very, very useful. Really nice survival. This line is about support as well as a little bit of damage. Not support just for yourself, but for the rest of your team in an offensive and a defensive way. So let's go into Vigorous Persistence. So gain increased endurance regeneration while you have an active upkeep skill. So active upkeep, like I said before as an example, is going to be that quickness from the assassin line. So you want to make sure, good fast endurance regeneration coming out from the Revenant as well. So I'm loving this build. I'm loving this. I've just got a bit of a thing for the Revenant, so you have to bear with me on that one. So when you apply a boon to an ally, also apply might to nearby allies as well. So that's going to be coming from, guess where? Your Legend of the Dragon, Mr. Herald himself. So not only are you getting stuff coming out from your assassin skills, all might stacks there, you're getting them from all of these as well. You can see 3 might stacks there. Let's go up to 5, why not? Unfortunately, because we got upkeep for those, we're losing a lot of energy as well. So remember when I said about upkeep as well, that's a little bit of an issue. So you need to make sure you're keeping that. It doesn't put them on cooldown at least. Your energy runs out, it just runs back your skills to where they were, and there's like a second that they just recharge quickly for as well. So, get towards the end of this. Envoy of Sustenance, increased boon duration, 15%. There we go. Crystal Hibernation. So, as we said, let's go back into the shield here. There we go. Crystal Hibernation. So, you're going to get this ability. And this is why. So, channel a shield from the mist to protect you, blocking attacks and regenerating you, of course. And then Soothing Bastion is the activate Crystal Hibernation above when struck below the health threshold of 25%. And how good is that to have that when you've already used it in a really high pressure situation? You hit 25% health. So remember, there's different skills in the game that help at 25% health. There used to be Vapor Form coming out from the Vamp Rune. There's Elixir S proc that happens at 25% HP for the Engineer as well. So, this is another thing. And also, Necro has Death Shroud at a certain percentage of health as well when that happens. So, all defensive things which really, really help you to sustain in fights. Especially if you get bursted and like Dragon Hunters and things like that. That skill, other things like that are going to really, really help you to survive. You could have increased damage per boon. You could also have the stability. When stability is applied to you, you gain an extra stack. So, I don't think that's very good at all. So really, it's the choice between the 3. That's just the obvious choice in any occasion, really. Other than maybe in raids or PvE when you want to get more damage with the boons that are going to be coming up against you. This might help your survival, but that will probably be something you go for in raids, I suppose. Especially with the sheer amount of boons that are coming onto you as well. I mean, we're getting a lot here, right? And with Facet of Nature, you're getting 5 boons. So that's an extra, what is that? you know, 10% damage there already. So really that's up to you. You can run that. There are different things in these builds that you can be going for as well. Here you could go for Assassin's Presence, so you could increase the velocity of nearby allies. You could go for that? Could go for Jade Echo. You know, get a little bit more defensive, but I'm liking the might stack between the Assassin and also between the Legendary Dragon Stance. You know, it gives you a lot of sustain in your damage to increase it even more, and that's why we've gone for Holbrack here. So you can increase your might duration, and you can increase your might gain as well when you're hit. So, you know, it's really nice. But and again, look at that, plus 20% might duration and minus 20% condition duration applied to you. You've not got a massive, you've got a bit of condition removal, but there's not a ton of it. You've got a lot of ways to sustain yourself through the condition damage. But if you want to, but having negative 20% condition duration applied to you is also very, very beneficial. So, and especially, you know, since Reapers are using a lot of chill now as well, I feel like this is a nice, even better rune to try and use. In terms of, you know, things like condition damage from chill now as well that they can put out, and they're starting to move into a condition area as well. I think, you know, we might see that as a potential thing in the future. This has been a long build video, and I've recorded this about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, but I just wanted to do it because I've been playing and I've been having fun. There's probably a lot of things that I didn't mention, some combos, some other stuff as well. Hopefully that's what I'm going to show you now as well. Just going to mention quickly to make sure you like, comment and subscribe. Let's show you some little combos or some potential things that might be useful for you in combat with the Rev. Hello again, and this is Jebro, just over with the NPCs now. So you can see at the moment I'm just going to go up against the Elementalist. Chances are someone's going to come over and try and nick it before, so I'm under a little bit of pressure to try and do some damage quite quickly. But you can see going to be able to grab some fury here, as well as grabbing the vulnerability stacks onto this mob as well, and you can see the amount of damage that is potentially coming out here with that vulnerability stacking as well. And we can actually show you the quickness down as well, so the knife skill there to grab yourself some quickness, you can do that in midair as well, which I'll show you in a moment. But some quick damage there. Okay, coming out with a little bit of a combo here now as well. Someone explained to me, sorry for attacking while you're trying to make a video. It's okay, don't worry about it. We all make mistakes. But anyway, let's go back over to our main shield and sword weapon set here as well. We've got the fury ticking over with the might stacks that are coming as well from this build. And then we've got, I'm going to have some extra might there as well. Remember, we've got the vulnerability. I'm also going to use Facet of Nature as well. Just because it gives us the extra might stacks. Going to put the vulnerability on, and the third skill. Oh, that's so much damage. I almost killed him just with the third skill. And if we go into Assassin's Stance, you can see I'm going for the down. I'm going to go, and then we can pop quickness while we're doing it. So you can actually pop quickness mid-stomp. So that's pretty good, because that's going to kind of fool them, and they'll just try and use, you know, they might try and use something extra, but it's going to be able to, if you're in a high pressure situation and someone looks like they might be coming in for the save, you can pop off that quickness. It's just really bloody useful. But yeah, again, there's a lot of damage. It's not the best thing to show it off with, because obviously, you know, it's not a player and he's not going to be acting very defensively. These are just standard moves coming out from these NPCs. But yeah, it's just a bit of an example. Remember, I'm not the most amazing best player in the world. But yeah, not too bad. We can break that because we've got the, you know, the riposte. Grab our quickness, and there he is. Pretty much dead. He did get stopped there actually in case as well, just because we got to 25% HP. So that's the problem sometimes with that. If you're quite low, especially if you go into the Necro, it's actually quite a good example to show you that sometimes that will proc in the time when you don't really want it to. But it's better to, you know, survive and get the kill in the end than to lose out. So we have everything pulsing away, the might stacks are going, we're coming into a point, we're going to try and take this Necro out, for example, as well. We pop our extra boons coming out from the build, we pop our vulnerability stacks, we get 20 stacks on him already. We use the third skill, we already get him down to about 10% or so HP. He dodges, but there's nothing he can do. We go to Assassin's Stance, we use the quickness, we take him out, he's gone, he's down, he's buried, and you know there's a ton of damage coming out there. In the midst of all that, I did lose half of my HP. It would have been nice when maybe to pull some HP back, maybe through enchanted daggers, maybe by just doing some down damage, you know, because there's not much they can do about that. If he uses a fear, maybe wait for him to pop his fear off, but then you can come back in and heal yourself off that guy who's in the down state. So doing cleave is actually really, really useful. Maybe we can show that again, actually. So very quickly, again, to show you exactly what I'm doing with that heal, to grant me regeneration in the assassin stance here as well. You can see I just pull out my 25% proc, I get the shield up, put some damage onto him, do a lot of damage as well as getting a lot of HP back. Do get feared in the end, but you can see the point is to maybe show you what's going on here. He does his downstate damage as you can see I popped my heal, got health up. This has been the Revenant. Enjoy it. Thank you very much. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check out all the stuff on the screen right now. I'll see you very soon. Don't forget to give feedback. See you later.